What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters Live. Sorry, I had to deal with a little glitch in my streaming automation for a second there. But anyway, we're back again with another instance of our weekly Friday stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic I've come up with for the week. And this week is no different. Let me know if you see any weird streaming issues today, because we've had some work done on our internet lines this week, and I'm hoping that things will go well. I'm hoping there won't be any hiccups. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But, you know, things have been better streaming-wise the last few weeks. I think that things have been more stable, but maybe just a little bit glitchy. But we're going to go on with it anyway and see how well we can fare here. I'd like to say hello to the people who have shown up so far. Hyder, Dave, Sem, Daigo, Drishal. Nice to see you. Gotta get a little hot tea going on here. All right. So let's jump into the updates. One thing that I have failed to mention over the last 2 months or so is that Emacs Conf is coming up. Actually, it's this weekend, and I've just completely zoned out on the fact that it's been preparing for this, because honestly, I didn't have time to prepare a talk this year, so I just didn't even look at what was going on for the scheduling. But it is this weekend. I highly recommend checking out the website to see what talks are going to be happening, because both Saturday and Sunday there will be talks that you might want to see. Wow. I think my org mode link copied a lot of extra text that was not supposed to be there. There we go. How about we do that? Anyway, see, we got a program here. Just scan through it really quickly because I don't know what's going on with that, so it'd be nice to see. Some really fancy scheduling blocks. Emacs journalism. All right, cool. Back to school with Emacs. Tree sitter. A lot of stuff here. The Emacs Buddy Initiative. That sounds interesting. Emacs should become a Wayland compositor. That's an interesting thought, but I think that's kind of like way out of scope. But I would like to see that talk just to see what people have to say. Anyway, go through the list, see what talks you might want to watch this weekend, and then check them out. Also, not such a bad idea to go and look at the recordings after the fact if you can't be there when they're live. But it's always cool to see Emacs Conf happening and see so much enthusiasm and so many people making presentations. So is Silas doing a talk this year? No, Prot's not doing a talk either. Everybody's busy. So we've got another set of folks in, which is great. But Howard Abrams is doing some talks. That's nice. A lot of folks. All right. So definitely wanted to make you aware of that, because I have not been mentioning it at all recently. So sorry to the organizers for not helping to promote that a little bit better. Beakery says, already, wow, 2022 feels so fast. Yeah, it's almost over now. So that's kind of interesting. Also wanted to point out that Jeff Bowman made a new post about crafted Emacs. He's been hacking away on that and helping to maintain it. So definitely go check out his blog, jeffbowman.writeas.com. Which I didn't know this, but actually writeas.com is an ActivityPub implementation. So this actually is federated to basically to Mastodon and anything else that talks ActivityPub. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, point being, there's some details here about things that have been happening in the crafted Emacs world in this month. A few different changes, some things that are being improved. So definitely go check out Jeff Bowman's update on that. And also, if you are on Mastodon or any other sort of Fediverse instance right now, you can follow Jeff at wolfjb at emacs.ch in case you want to be up to date on any other posts that he makes. Also, should mention in relation to that I want to remind people about the Emacs Mastodon instance at emacs.ch. We had a stream last week where we talked about sort of why I think Mastodon is ideal for people like us who want to use more sort of open tools, especially if you want to be able to use it from inside Emacs, because there's a very good Emacs package for Mastodon. So if you haven't gotten started using Mastodon yet, definitely check out the emacs.ch instance, because there's a lot of people there talking about Emacs. It's run by the Emacs community, so it's all friendly people there. Really good starting point if you want to get started on using that. I've been using Mastodon exclusively for the last 2 weeks now. There's really no looking back for me. It's the sort of the level of sort of community and communication going on there is far beyond what I was seeing on Twitter for our type of topics, like, you know, Emacs geeks, lisps, etc. So definitely the place to be if you want to talk to people about these kind of topics. And lastly, I'll mention that I'm still sort of promoting the book Mastering Emacs because Mickey Peterson, the author of Mastering Emacs, was so kind to set me up with an affiliate link so that any purchase of Mastering Emacs through this link with the /r/systemcrafters at the end, a portion of the sale will go to support the channel. It's a really excellent resource for things that go far more in depth about Emacs, things that we haven't been able to cover on this channel before. I read the book, maybe 2018 or so. So I know for sure that it's good. A lot of people have picked it up from this link. I really appreciate that. And one last thing about that is that he updates the book every major Emacs release. So since we're talking about Emacs 29 today, which isn't out yet, but it's going to be soon, I imagine that Mickey will probably have an update to this book out for Emacs 29, covering whatever changes have been in that release. So definitely a good resource to have, and it's future-proof because it keeps getting updated for each new major release. All right, so that's it. Let me see who else has joined the chat since I started talking. Hello to Ace Bulf, Edward, Colin, Fikri, Michael, Big Edie, Amelvadia, Benoit, Joseph Ferrano, Adam, DMZ, Minas Mazar, and Eric Fraga. Nice to see you. Let's see, what are people saying here? Joseph says, looking forward to Emacs 29. Yeah, me too. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in 29. Adam says, top new feature in 29 I've noticed is the checkboxes in Customize are much cuter. We'll have to check that out because I haven't seen that yet. Fikri says, Drew DeVault even promotes write ads when he challenged people to do blogging. Okay, cool. I didn't see that. DMZ says, hello from Ho Chi Minh City. That's cool. Benoit says the vibe is great on Mastodon. Yeah, it's been really cool. I like it a lot. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm probably posting too much, but I don't know. Since there's not so much content there, it feels like it's all of our part to post a lot so that people have something to read when they come back to Mastodon or to the Fediverse, I guess you say. Hello to Jonathan, to Thomas, Nathaniel, Gernati. Nathaniel, I'm sorry I didn't respond to your question about mastodon.el on Mastodon. I actually don't know the answer to those questions, and I was going to look it up, but I've been too busy. Wow, I can see the stream is getting really choppy. Gernati says, Mastodon is awesome, but like with Twitter, I never come up with something insightful to tweet about every day. Does that mean I'm a boring person? Just make posts about whatever it is that you're interested in, whatever you're doing. If you're hacking on your Emacs configuration, just post about that, because you're going to get interactions because people are constantly there sort of looking at stuff about Emacs. But I will recommend, if you don't have followers on Mastodon, please use hashtags in your posts, like hashtag Emacs, etc., because that way people who are following hashtags will see your posts, and there's more of a chance that people will either star them or boost them so that you get a little bit more exposure. So definitely keep that in mind whenever you're posting on Mastodon. Hello to Case and to Michael. Drishal says, Emacs 29 means I get PGTK and also pixel smooth scrolling. We're going to take a look at that today. I don't know about PGTK, but definitely pixel scrolling we'll take a look at. Okay, so let's get into it. So this week, I think it was on Monday, Eli Zaretsky, one of the lead maintainers of Emacs, created the release branch for Emacs 29. And he posted an email to Emacs Devel about that, basically saying that he's cut the Emacs 29 branch, which starts the release cycle of Emacs 29.1. And as you know, the actual stable official releases of Emacs all start with .1, not .0. .1 is sort of like the version that this is like the real public release of that version, that major release. So the idea is that this means that Emacs 29 is going into the stabilization period where people are trying it out, testing things, filing bugs, sending patches to get things stable so that they can eventually cut the real Emacs 29 release and make that the new major version. There's been a number of major improvements to Emacs 29 that we're going to talk about today that I think are much bigger than things we've seen in previous releases in the last 5 or 6 years. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens after this release comes out, because it kind of levels the playing field in some areas, I believe. Let's see. Adam says, can I have it as global display line numbers mode. Maybe got renamed. I don't know. Glenn says, +1 to Mastodon posting, much friendlier. Yes, definitely much friendlier. Much more tolerant of my ridiculous posts. There are many new huge features in this release, and what we're going to do today is try out a build of literally the latest commit on the branch right before the stream. So there is a little bit of chance things will go wrong, but whatever. You know, we're going to try it and see what happens. This is the point, right? In stabilization, you're supposed to go try out the software and see what fails to make sure that nobody else hits that problem. So we're going to be the guinea pigs today and see what we can find. I have high hopes, though, that things are going to work pretty well. But I did a build of Emacs 29 from the Emacs-29 branch, and we're going to give it a shot. We're also going to follow along with this post by Lucien Cartier-Tillet, aka Pundrak or Fundrak. If you've spent any time on the System Crafters Discord, you've probably seen him around there, but he's also on Mastodon as well. You can follow him at fossidon.org at Fundrak or Pundrak. But he made a really good post on this that's been making the rounds this week. Quite a lot of coverage, actually, about this. And we're going to go through these and try out the features that we see and see how well they work. And, I made a reminder to myself to also try the pixel scrolling precision mode, I think. Let me fix the name of this. Pixel scrolling precision mode, I think. All right. One last thing I want to mention is that I made a little manifest file for the purpose of testing this release. And I'm going to post it into the show notes so that you will have it too if you want to try to use Geeks for this purpose. But a little bit of esoteric Geeks knowledge here. Basically what this is doing is this is a manifest that I'm going to use with Geeks Shell so that I have a pure environment to try out Emacs 29 with. What I'm basically doing is creating a manifest where I'm transforming the Emacs Next package, which is supposed to be for Emacs 29, but I'm telling it to use the latest commit of the Emacs 29 branch. So this options to transformation function is pretty cool because it makes a function that you can use to transform any packages that you put into your manifest. That way I was able to say, okay, the Emacs Next package in Geeks right now is not up to date. In fact, the commit that it uses is like from the beginning of November, like a month ago. So before the stabilization branch got created. So just by using this little snippet that I deleted, I'm up to date now. So, pretty cool stuff, right? Case says, damn, maybe I should really use Geeks. Yeah, maybe you should. I'm going to make some more Geeks videos because I was using Geeks earlier today to do some stuff for CI. I don't know, like Geeks is good stuff. I got to make more content about it so people understand what's going on there. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of a Geeks sales pitch. So what I'll do is try to set up, let me actually pull up vterm for this, set up a Geeks shell to do this. Let's see. Let's not do sudo shutdown right now. I'll go back to the root folder and I'm going to run Geeks shell. We're going to try a container. This may not work so well, but we're going to try container. Network, reserve. I think that's right. I might need to check on that really quickly. Hold on. As you can tell, I'm not 100% prepared here. Actually, back in the preserve. Let's just use some ripgrep to find that. Hey, there it is. I don't think we need this emulate FHS, but we need these. Go back to vterm and paste. And then I'm going to use emacs-29.m sem. We're going to see if this works. I might have to just use the normal Geek shell. Container, unknown package. Oh, I think I need to do dash there. I've got to download something. Okay, cool. Maybe it worked. So let's run Emacs. All right, there it is. Okay. Hey, why are you pulling up my home configuration? Probably because it's sharing my home directory. I actually don't want that. Let's get out of here. Let's see. move Emacs 29, CD, whoop, temp, CD temp. All right, let's do it here. Ah, wrong screen. Def var, docstring, wrong usage. Don't think that's anything I'm doing. Ooh. Exec VP, no such file directory. Interesting. SH not found. Maybe I need to throw some more things in this. I know this is a little bit, inside baseball here, but we're going to get through it in a second. I also need to have projects code, GG. Let's see. Whoa, no. Need to pull some things like, really basic stuff. Let's just use specifications and manifest here, and then sorry, folks. That's what happens when you prepare at the last moment. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to const that transform with a specifications and manifest. Let's throw core utils in there. This is gonna be fun to see if it actually works. Let's just do some live Geeks manifest hacking. Okay. We'll go back into vterm and see if this works. Need to make sure that at least it has the basic stuff in there so that we don't just completely... That can't be right. I added the wrong file probably, yeah. We're gonna go into tmp/emacs29. We're gonna go paste this in and then delete the rest. All right, folks, here we go. My skepticism was well-founded. Wrong type argument core utils. I think I need to put a list in there. That's right. Like that. Boom. This is the problem with doing things on the fly. You need to list core utils. Yes, thank you to Jonathan. I also think I'm doing something wrong here as well. Let me go back because I think I missed something. Specifications manifest. Do I not have that function? I think what I'm trying to avoid here is it picking up my own configuration and mixing in things that I don't want. So we're just going to spend a second and figure this out so that we can move on. Wrong type argument, package Emacs next. Const with the oh, okay. Right. Okay. Specifications to manifest. I'm doing the same thing twice. How do I merge two manifests? Yes, init directory. That's a cool feature. Hello to issue2. Concat, not cons. Yeah, I think the problem is that this is being converted to a manifest. Is there like a specifications to packages? Let's just pull up the Geeks manual real quick. Let's throw it in devel mode here because I don't... Whoa, is that right? Okay, so specifications to manifest. Okay, hey, we have a concatenate manifest function. That is it takes a list. Great. So let's just take this piece, throw it right there, and then we are going to take that out. And actually, this needs to be a list. No. Okay. Let's try this one out and see what happens. Not the best indentation, but whatever. Hey, I think it's working. Oh no, I hope it doesn't do this again because that took forever the last time I did it. Thomas says, you don't have a scheme shell where you could just see what do those functions return? Yeah. I mean, I could put in the Geeks REPL, but man, I don't know if I want to sit through this again. It took forever. You know what? This might be a bad idea. Because we don't want to wait 20 minutes like it did last time. So what it did is it updated the checkout. And it took forever for it to sync the repo. Just calculating in my mind the best approach to take here. I think what I'm going to do is just bail out on this thing. Let's just do it this way because I don't want to cause more trouble and waste more time. Geeks shell pure. And let me make sure the Emacs... I don't have anything else extra in here. Let's get rid of this because I want to make sure it looks exactly like it did the last time I ran this because we're not going to sit through that again. Find the commit you built. Yeah, I will find it. It's a little bit risky, but yeah, maybe we can try that. Let's just do this. All right. So I'm going to copy this, comment that out. With commit, I know which commit it was, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna go to the Emacs Git repo on Savannah, and we're gonna jump to the Emacs 29 branch right up here, and then log. Come on. I think it was this one. Yeah. There's this commit here. Click that. Copy the hash. Go back in. Paste it. Fingers crossed that this actually works, because otherwise, cd temp. You already have the commit. Ah. Ishu says if Emacs 28 is this problematic setup, it's not this problematic setup. It hasn't been released yet. So, you know what I can do? I already have it in GNU Store. Let's find it. GNU. Sorry, folks. GNU Store. Let's see. Emacs 29 is not this hard to set up. In fact, it's probably easier to compile if I wasn't using Geeks. Emacs next. Probably one of these two. There it is. All right, so let me copy this path. Hey, no. Lovely. vterm. All right, so no thanks. Hey, there we go. Okay, so it's trying to pull my own config. Actually, this is a good opportunity to try the first thing that I wanted to show. So the thing that Case mentioned in the chat is actually the right thing to do to start off with. So we're gonna go over to Pundrak's thing here, init directory. So custom user directories. This one is pretty awesome because it's been a pain point for a long time for anybody who wants to experiment with multiple Emacs configurations. Emacs always tries to look for init.el in a few well-defined locations, like your home directory under .emacs.d or under the .config/Emacs directory, or even like a .emacs file at your home directory, like just a flat file. So now they've actually added a new flag called --init directory that allows you to set the init directory for that instance of Emacs. Previously, you had to use something like Emacs2, which I made a video about in the past, to accomplish this, but now it's built in as part of Emacs 29. So what we're going to do, hey Puntrak, we're looking at your post right now, actually. What we're going to do is use this flag to make sure that I don't pick up my own configuration, which will help us test out this Emacs build without causing too many problems. So here we go. I am going to say init directory is /temp. In fact, We'll try some other options in a second. All right, so now it's complaining about a few things. It's still finding some of my stuff, I think. I think it's finding a lot of packages in my my profile, but that's okay. Is it just me or did that? Let's see. Yeah, this looks different, unless I'm mistaken. Okay, anyway. So that was pretty easy. Let me actually check on whether I can do maybe the Emacs from scratch configuration. Projects, code, Emacs from scratch. I have not opened this or synced it in a while. Who knows if it's going to work, but we'll pull it up and see what happens. Hey, it looks like it worked to some degree. This is probably an in-development version I was doing for something, but as you can see, it did actually pick up a configuration from that folder. So that's nice. I don't know why we're getting all these. Oh, it's native compilation warnings. That's fine. All right, next thing. What about rational Emacs? Code / rational Emacs. It was back when it was called rational Emacs. Maybe it's crafted now. Oh, I have a crafted Emacs. Good. So you can even pull that one up too. So it's way, way, way easier to do this now, which is fantastic. Holy crap. And let me make sure. Emacs version 2960. Okay, cool. So we are still using the right Emacs version, just to make sure, but this wouldn't work otherwise. Thomas says, those messages were saying something about Emacs 28. Probably have a cache folder that has some precompiled native comp files that are confusing it. So maybe I need to change that. Yeah, Cache Geeks profiles probably still activate the old one from there. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so that is a pretty cool feature. That will maybe reduce our dependency on things like Emacs 2. Emacs 2 is nice, but it does a lot of stuff sort of at the early start of Emacs that might slow it down. So it would be better to have a built-in solution for this. Now, I guess the problem is if you want to launch Emacs with a specific configuration, you always have to remember to put your init directory parameter, but that's not so bad. You can just have like a shell script or an alias or something in bash or whatever you want to pull up the right config. There may be other things we could think of that might be helpful for switching out configurations, but still very, very nice to have this. So now that we know what we have to use for keeping my configuration out of the way, very important thing, eglot is now a part of Emacs core. Very, very big deal, because that means that now there is a built-in way to Emacs to have full IDE functionality using language servers or any program that implements the language server protocol. So if you've sort of been out of the loop on this, there has been a standard developing called the language server protocol, where anyone can write a program that can give IDE or integrated development environment style information about a particular language to any editor through like a text-based protocol, like a JSON-based protocol. The idea being that any editor can now be an IDE for any language that has a language server. Now, you've probably seen in my videos, or at least heard about LSP mode, which is another implementation of a client for the language server protocol. eglot is another sort of major implementation for Emacs of a language server protocol client, but it was implemented more in line with sort of how Emacs' own internal packages work. So gradually it was able to become a part of Emacs core, which is a big deal now because it means you don't have to install any external package. You can just install Emacs and then have a language server installed for your language, and then just start up eglot with your language server and have a full IDE experience. So now Emacs is an IDE sort of out of the box. You just have to have a language server, which is great. Gnome says that I heard LSP is slow on Emacs. LSP mode, people have said in the past that LSP mode was slow. I don't know that either of them are slow anymore, because the newer versions of Emacs have a native JSON parser built in, and that helps a lot with the speed of LSP. So you shouldn't be worried about performance concerns. The only thing you should be worried about is whether a language server is stable enough to not crash and give you trouble, which I have sometimes. But honestly, I've been using eglot actually for the last 6 months to a year. I can't remember how long it's been. I've been using it for my day-to-day job, where I write TypeScript and JavaScript code all day. I've also been using it heavily for C development, and it's been working great for me, aside of from some couple hiccups here and there, but it's more about the language server being a problem and not eglot itself. So it gives me the ability to have code completions in the editor where it tells me like what functions or classes or types or whatever that you have available. Code fixes, which can be really handy. Like if you need to import a particular module or header or something, it can automatically do that for you. Automatic code formatting, lots of stuff like that is built in with eglot. So really, really nice to have that in Emacs by default. And we will take a look at that in just a moment. I want to see if there's anything else worth mentioning here for that. Okay, there's another one called LSP Bridge. Manatee Lazy Cat, the author of, Emacs Application Framework. I haven't looked at that one at all, but apparently that exists. But eglot is very easy to use. It requires basically no setup in most cases, depending on which language server you use. Fikri says, LSP mode works fine for me, mainly with Golang. LSP mode's great. LSP mode has more of a rich UI integration with Emacs, and it can make Emacs look more like an actual IDE. For me, what I like about eglot is it's simple, sort of stays out of the way, doesn't have a whole lot of UI or things that are popping up, but it does give me all the information I need, so it really works better with my workflow. So another related thing is that now Tree Sitter has become a part of Emacs core. And if you haven't heard about Tree Sitter, basically it is a much more robust syntax parsing library for programming languages, specifically for the purpose of syntax highlighting, but also for code analysis tools. This was actually created by someone I used to work with, Max Brunsfeld. He and I worked together on the Atom editor at GitHub. Really cool to see his work getting put in Emacs now. But the goal of Tree Sitter is basically to make it really easy to do high performance syntax parsing grammars for editors. And now we're bringing that logic into Emacs so that you have really robust syntax highlighting for various different languages without having to use the original font lock, which could be slow for certain languages and also isn't very precise on parsing certain types of language grammars and whatnot. So the result of using Tree Sitter is that you have much better syntax highlighting in languages, and also the editor should be able to do more client side or editor side manipulation of code and analysis of code. So instead of having to actually defer to a language server, you might actually be able to do some basic level of analysis inside of Emacs. For things like iMenu, whenever you want to like jump between functions in a file, it would be much easier to do that now. It would also be much easier to do refactorings inside the editor without having to resort to using a language server. So there's a lot of possibilities for what Tree Sitter brings to the table, and I think that people should really look into how they could leverage it to make really interesting Emacs packages after Emacs 29 comes out. Ramsey says, does Tree Sitter and eglot overlap in some instances? Not really. I mean, you could say that there is some minor overlap, but really Tree Sitter, the primary functionality is about having really good syntax highlighting. But you could do some similar things with it. But the nice thing about it is it wouldn't require having a separate process running that you have to depend on. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see what people will do with Tree Sitter now that it's going to be in box. Ed Bowler says, so Tree Sitter should enable structural editing for languages that aren't Lisp. Yes, 100%. So if you have seen me try to use things like Lispy or ParEdit or other things for Lisp languages where it allows you to sort of move around blocks of code really easily, Tree Sitter will actually enable things like that because you have more of an understanding of the structure of the code, so that we might actually be able to have things like ParEdit for C, which would be very interesting, like being able to move parameter orderings around or move functions up and down in a file. It would be much easier to do that with Tree Sitter, I think. So really, really exciting. Could enable some really nice functionality for Emacs, and nice to have it in the box for sure. So what Pundrak says here is that there's a few Tree Sitter grammars that are included in box, which are all really helpful, like Python, JSON, JavaScript, TypeScript, Java, CSS, C#. That one's kind of funny to me. Bash, obviously, C and C++. So a lot of really common languages, aside from C#, are built in, which is great. What am I missing here? Fikri says, will tree sitter solve long lines on Emacs? It could be one solution for that, but like Pundrax says, someone else contributed a long line performance fix. That may have been... what's his name? It'll come to me. Kay says, Mickey Peterson might be working on it. Yeah, I think I did hear something about Mickey looking at tree sitter a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so let's actually take a look at these. Both eglot and tree sitter. So what I'll try to do is load up a C project, the code for the mesh compiler, and try to run it with eglot and with tree sitter to see how the code looks. Hungry Spirit says, does Lisp languages get some benefits from tree sitter? If you have a tree sitter grammar for Lisp or Scheme or whatever, then it would. But since Emacs already has really good support for doing those kinds of things and already has packages for it, I don't really know that you need it so much for Lisp languages, but it could be helpful. I mean, one thing you could say for sure is that if you could unify the kinds of code manipulations, like moving function order around, parameter order around, this kind of thing that you commonly would want to do in any programming language, if you could unify that across all languages, including Lisps, then you could have like one package to rule them all in some cases. So it could be really nice to have something that works like the same commands that work for different languages so that you don't have to remember like 2 sets of key bindings, 2 sets of commands for doing this kind of thing. Could be really nice. Hungry Spirit says code folding. Yes, tree sitter is also great for code folding, for sure. All right, so let's jump back into the Emacs session. Let's just use temp as our directory here. And I will, come on now, stop showing me these. What's the setting to squelch that? Let me pull up my config because I don't want to see all those messages. Native compilation. Yeah, let's make a little Emacs init file here, init.el. I'm gonna put this setting in because I'm tired of seeing all these warnings. And we're also going to change the... Why can't I move the cursor? We're going to change these theme. Load theme. Let's see. Load theme. Why? Come on. Meta X. Load theme. No. I want to see the built-in ones. Is anything new built in? Doesn't look like it. What was it? Tango. Yeah, let's just go with that for now. Okay. So let's pull up some C code. We have C-TS-mode. That's built in, okay? So we're going to go into projects code. Let's see, GGO, deps, mesh, components, compiler, source, vm.c. Okay, so what mode is this? What is going on? Oh, I'm pressing escape because I'm used to using escape too much and I'm causing myself trouble here. I do notice a little bit that this is cleaned up some. I think this UI looks a little bit more snazzy. I don't know. Is that just me? Oh, Leuven Dark? Hey, we got to try that. Because the Leuven or Leuven, I don't know how you pronounce that. That theme is pretty nice. So, hey, somebody break my escape key so I stop pressing it. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is that right? Escape, escape, escape. Stop. Yes, save it. I'm going to load this again because I don't trust that I didn't break something. Let me go back to vterm. Why didn't you load my init.el file? Weird. Okay. Anyway, that seems to be the right colors. Nice purple background. Maker, I did not go over those yet. We will look at those in a little bit. All right, so back to where we were going before. I think I just saw something new too. Kind of hard for me to tell what I'm seeing sometimes. All right, so projects, code, GGO, yep, smash. Whatever. Okay, so let's check CTS mode. Is that on? There's not a variable for this mode. Well, let me try running it. CTS mode. Tree-sitter for C isn't available. What does that mean? Tree-sitter library is not compiled with Emacs. Oh, no. We're not recompiling Emacs right now. So let's see. I bet tree-sitter's not even in... Okay, we got a little bit of a problem here. Geeks search tree sitter. This is going to be a problem for Geeks if Geeks doesn't have a tree sitter. Oh, okay, Geeks does have tree sitter. Still, we have a problem because I would have to recompile Emacs using tree sitter really quickly, and there's no such thing as quickly when it comes to recompiling Emacs. Let me check this stream. Okay. Getting some notifications here. I'm thinking about how I could do this really quickly. Yeah, tree sitter requires tree sitter binaries indeed. Let's take a look at the Geeks package really quick. So Geeks, edit, Emacs, next. What would we need to do here? Also, we need to check out the normal Emacs package as well. Is that the one right here? With modules. Okay, so I need to check out the news file, and I would also recommend, excuse me, look at the news file for Emacs to see what's been going on with Emacs 29. It's in the etc/news folder, I think. Yeah. So let's see, tree sitter. Really? Tree sitter? Okay, here we go. Yes. Is there a parameter like -- with tree sitter? No. Yeah, recompilation takes 2-3 minutes. Well, it does if you have it locally. I should have just, pulled this with I'm considering actually using Geeks Shell to make it easier to build just straight up. So let's see. News.29, it's not there, is it? I'm just trying to see if there's any like parameter that needs to be given to the build for this to work. Yeah, there's no news.29 as far as I see. Yeah, I'm on the 29 branch. So, sitter. Not telling me anything about how you're supposed to use it. Is it really -- with tree sitter? Okay. I'm thinking about it. Hey, Manuel. Hey, Gavin. Nice to see you. Yes, I'm very hyped for the release too. Man, the stream is not doing so hot, is it? Probably my CPU though. All right, just trying to think really quickly about how I could show tree sitter without having to go through too much trouble. I'm even considering the possibility of going to FlatHub and see if they have any like preview release of Emacs. We don't have to deal with builds. Let's see here. Sometimes they have beta versions. Where's the repo? There we go. So Like a beta, yeah, beta branch. Yikes. Okay, that's a bust. Anyway, let's take a look at eglot first anyway. So we're going to go back to vterm. And we will pull up, once again, I'm confused why it's not picking up that init.el file there, because it's there. Unless I did something wrong. All right, we'll just, hey, go away. I also want to make sure, no. Stop. Whenever I don't have my own bindings, I'm really struggling. When will Emacs 29 be released at stable? I don't know. Don't know the answer to that one. It really just depends on how long it takes to stabilize it. Probably, you know, in the first part of next year, I would think. Okay. I wanted to check eglot. And make sure that it's coming from the right place. In eglot.el, which eglot.el are we talking about? Because that doesn't sound right. Yes. Can you tell me where this buffer is? Buffer file. Name. That does not look right. Looks like it's picking it up from my my profile. That's why I was trying to avoid doing it this way. Doesn't Geek Shell's pure isn't it supposed to like get rid of the Emacs? All right, let me check this. Echo Emacs. Okay, yeah. Geeks Shell pure. Let's try that now and see if maybe this will work a little bit better. That seems good. Now, eglot. Eglot.el. Where are you? Oh, el.gz. Great. Okay, so now we're using the one that's built in. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, so still, it's not loading my init.el. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe that's a bug. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the code folder again and try this. Projects, code, GGO, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we're in this folder, or in this file. I should be able to run just metax eglot. All right, so it says couldn't guess LSP server for C mode. I need to actually install one, which is not too hard. Really wish it would load. What is it called? There's CCLS and there's another one, I think. Geek Shell. Let's just go with CCLS to start with. CCLS is a C language server. There's also another one called Playing Something, I think. Playing D? Ah, thank you. I think Playing D works a little bit better sometimes. We'll try that one also. Okay. Come on. This is going to get annoying. Projects, code, GGO. Okay, now let's see what happens when I type in eglot. Connected. Server CCLS now managing C mode, CTS mode, blah, blah, blah. So we have a language server running. which is cool because it means now we can start to get some language intelligence about things that are in this file. So if I were to go into this function, I'm hoping this is going to work the way I expect it to. VM underscore stack underscore, and then we get a little bit of a marker here. And when I hover, it says use of undeclared identifier. If I hit Control Alt I, it will tell me that there are completions: mesh VM stack pop, VM stack peak, VM stack push. I can click on that one entry, and it tells me that I can use that completion. Sometimes it tells you what the parameters are also, but I think you need to have other packages installed for this to work, because by default eglot is pretty minimal. But you can already see that you're getting some value here, and I think if you look at flymake dash, what is it? Error, no. Flymake, no, not menu. Show buffer diagnostics. Yeah, okay. Now you get to see all the errors. And these are actually coming back from the language server itself and not just like, Emacs saying that the syntax is wrong. So this is out of the box. I did not install eglot. I only installed the CCLS language server, and you get this functionality built into Emacs, so long as you have the eglot command bound to your mode. So if I were to go back into my init.el, and let's see, is there hey, man, I keep hitting escape repeatedly. Eglot ensure, is that what it is? Start eglot session for current buffer if there isn't one. I think that's the one they recommend you do. So add hook C mode eglot ensure. I believe that would work. So if I were to go back into vm.c, then open up compiler.c instead, then eglot got turned on for this buffer too. So I think if we were to go here to compiler emit byte and say xref find definitions, then it will jump to the definition of that function. So also code navigation is part of the language server spec. So here's this mesh chunk write, which is in a different file. Run that same command again, xref find definitions, and it will jump to the header basically that says where that function is defined. So all this stuff is built into Emacs now. You just need a language server that can pull it up. Really cool stuff. So really all you need is just a language server, and then in your init.el file, just add hooks for the mode that you want to use, or you want eglot to be turned on for. Really happy to have that built in. I think also, this is one of those scenarios where you have eglot also in GNU ELPA. So the fact that it's built into Emacs does not mean that you're going to end up with an out-of-date package all the time. You actually have eglot in GNU ELPA, which means with package.el, you can install newer versions of eglot while it's being developed in between Emacs releases. So really nice to have that, so that we have fully sort of like built-in packages with new functionality that can be pulled in whenever we want it to. So it's unfortunate we can't do tree sitter. I'm kind of wondering if I could just sort of on the side try to compile it and see if it works. I also wonder if I just install tree sitter if it will work. Let's try that. Let me go into, don't save that buffer. Let's go back into the Geek shell, tree sitter. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see what happens. Probably not. CTS mode. Tree sitter for C is not available. Okay, fine. There's not an easy way to do a package transform for adding parameters, I think. You would have to like override the package. Options, transformation. What is the... Never mind. If we pull the repo, we might be able to do it. Just gonna try this for 1 second, see what happens. So let's see. It's a branch. Let's see if that works. Wow, really? Can't be right. That's because it's the cgit. Probably this one. Whoa. Let's look at the summary page. I think that should tell me, doesn't it? Yeah. /git. Okay. Here we go. We're going to clone the repo, hopefully with the right branch and with only a depth of 1 because we don't want to clone the entire thing. Ramses says you don't need compile commands.json for C projects. I think you only need that if you're using like CMake and a more complicated build setup for your project. You might need it for C projects. I don't need it for mine because I'm not using CMake or Makefiles even. Geeks build S Emacs next with branch. Yeah, that works, but it doesn't work to add new compiler flags or change the compiler flags. We're gonna try to run this in the background while we're doing other stuff. We'll see how well it goes. And in fact, I should be able to use Geek Shell to pull all the depths. S to get the source. Maybe. Good point. Good point. Good point. That is possible. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have it here at least. CD Emacs. And install. Hello. I don't like how vterm doesn't automatically like figure out what folder you're in. I know there's a way to fix that. Install. Basic installation. Configure, creates a meg file. This is going to be a pain in the ass, isn't it? Hello, Johan. So configure, that's where we got to put in our parameters, right? Geeks shell, what is it called? There's a parameter that gives you the dependencies of something. -d. Geeks shell -d Emacs next. Can I also say other dependencies I wanted to pull in, like tree, sitter? We'll see how long this takes. We're just going to try to run and configure really quickly. And this might be a little primer on how to compile Emacs also, so this might be useful. Put the depths before the D. Okay, thank you. That's a good point. Where was I? Exit. Tree sitter. What else? Probably that's it, right? I don't know how out of date the tree sitter is in Geeks. That could also be a problem. vterm toggle CD. Is there a command for that now? Maybe it's a package. Marcus says, the compile thingy reminds me of the old times when one needed to compile the Linux kernel manually as soon as one wanted to use another module. Yeah, that was not fun, for sure. I didn't like that very much. I tried to avoid it at all costs. Back whenever you installed things like Slackware or Gentoo, I think it was kind of compulsory, right? To pick your Linux kernel modules and compile the kernel. Definitely with Gentoo. I'm not so sure about Slackware. vterm toggle. Cool. Thanks, Ramses. All right. So configure with native compilation, with tree sitter, with Cairo. What else was in that package? I don't even remember. Let's just go with that for now. What? I might need to... What? Oh. Invoke the configure script. What? Eves, we haven't seen tree sitter yet because the Geeks build does not have it included. Why is it not here to start with? That's really weird. I had to run autoconf. Did it say that? I didn't think I would need to. Okay, okay. Yeah, did you give me a config file? I don't... Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's try it now. Syntax error. Does it tell you that? Oh, the README? Come on. The shell script generates configure. Thank you. Let's see if this works. Well, I didn't think so, burn seed, but maybe... I hope it does, actually. If it does, then that, including that dependency could solve a problem with the build, but let's just try it anyway and see what happens. All right, so... Cool, this seems to be working this time. Compiling Emacs doesn't take that long. Let's see. libgcc JIT failed to compile? Or maybe I'll just get rid of native compilation, huh? Interesting. Whatever. I don't care. We don't really need it for the purpose of the demonstration. Copium. We're getting there. Okay. Takes longer to run the config script than it does to build Emacs, it seems. And what would just, make J4? Probably should have read the document before I did that, huh? Make. Okay, cool. In the source directory, you can try this program, make check, make install. I don't need to do make install, I just need to run it. Alrighty, let's see how long this takes. In the meantime, let's go take a look at the blog post that Pundrak wrote to see what else we need to take a look at before we end the stream later. Another really interesting thing that came up is now you can install packages from source with package.el. This was something that you had to use other package managers for in the past, including things like straight.el, or I think there was like Quelpa and maybe Cask and some others. But now package.el apparently has the functionality built in by default, which is really interesting because it seems that there's been a directed effort over the last few Emacs releases to make package.el obviate other Emacs package managers. And it's not because they want to be the dominant one. It's more like the package manager in box needs to be good enough for most use cases, and you should only have to use an exotic package manager if you have like really specific needs. So if package.el can pull Emacs packages from Git repositories out of the box, then that for me sort of eliminates one of the main use cases for straight.el. So it would be nice to only use a thing that is in things that are in the box as much as possible, because then you have less complicated Emacs configuration. So we'll take a look at that in a second as well. I think I should be able to run the other Emacs while we're doing this. So let's do a little vterm 2. Come on now. vterm 1. There we go. We got a new vterm buffer, and we got the other one just sort of chugging away on top here, which is kind of funny. Let's go back to our temp folder, and then we're gonna run that GNU store garbage. All right, here we go. Cool. Now we're back, and let's try out this deal with, let's see, package vc install. And the packages installed that way can be updated with package vc update or package vc update all. Cool. So there's one package I know of that I like to use by Sachachua, which is the OBS WebSocket. What is it called? Let me find it on my other machine because I don't remember. Come on now. OBS WebSocket. I guess it's just OBS WebSocket for Emacs, right? Okay. Emacs. All right, so this is the repo, OBS WebSocket EL. So I want to copy the link to this. And let's try package VC install and see what it asks me. Okay, it's contacting ELPA for some reason. I don't know why. Fetch and install package. I'm going to paste in the link. Functions symbol definition is void. VC clone. That doesn't seem like what we expect. Did it actually do it? OBS? Nope, did not. Curious why that has a problem. Package VC install. Let's try it one more time. All right. VC clone. There's no VC clone function. You don't have that Git in Geek Shell. Maybe. I don't think I'm in Geek Shell in this one. In fact. Hey, did it actually finish building? That'd be amazing if it did. Come on. Source/Emacs. Well, here we go. It's our own little build. 29.0 CTS mode. Huh? Let me make sure that we did the right thing here. So git log one line. Whatever. December 2nd. Emacs 29. Okay. May need to require. Really? They should do that for me, but that's a good point. All right, so let's try that one more time here. Source/Emacs. Let's also run that in Geeks Shell pure -- source Emacs. Wow, what did I just do wrong? Okay, maybe we shouldn't do that. PCal says VC is already required by package VC. Well, let's see, because it didn't work. Require VC A. Require VC. What was the other one? Yeah. And then I need to go copy that link again. And now we're going to use package VC install. Why not? It's like it can't find its own load path. I wonder if it's confused. No. I don't want to unset the Emacs load path because it could... Wait, hold on. I'm in an environment right now. That might explain why it's happening. Give me 1 second here. Source/Emacs. VC mode. Okay, that didn't croak, so let's try that again. Also need access to Git, so maybe that's also another problem. Package VC install. Yo. Jesus. All right, let's go. Require VC, what was it, package VC? Why not? Load path. Yeah, it's got all this garbage in there that I don't want. Geeks Shell pure. Yeah, empty environment's fine. Source Emacs. What did I use for building? Let's do that again. So Geeks Shell pure tree sitter D Emacs next. All right, now source Emacs. Please work this time. Okay. So maybe it's going to be okay this time. So package VC install. Then I'll have to do this one more time. Fetch and install package, shift insert. Ah, okay. That makes more sense. Let's add Git to the Geeks profile. Fine. You got me. All right, so Git. In fact, let's back out and do this instead, because this is just going to be annoying. Source/Emacs. Here we are. Cool. Now, maybe, finally, we can get this to work. I think it's mainly my fault here. I don't think there's a bug in Emacs. Package VC install. All right, fetch and install package. What? No such file or directory. What does that have to do with anything? PCal says, I don't know if this is a Geeks issue or a general issue. Me either. It's a little bit weird, don't you think? What about messages buffer? Maybe. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Init directory temp. Let's try it this time. Package VC install. I don't know if I still have it in my copy buffer. There we go. Why would I need it? Package initialize. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Shouldn't it create that? Let's go to, come on, come on, come on. Temp slash ELPA archives. OBS WebSocket EL. I'm going to create the directory for you. So this time, I don't want to see you complain. VC install. Yes. What are we talking about? No file or directory? Oh, you know what? I wonder if I need like core utils in here. Is that the right? Whew. Yeah, here we go. That might be the reason. I don't know. Seems a little weird that core utils wouldn't be there. Does package VC checkout work? Well, let's give it a shot. Hey. Package VC checkout. Oh. Maybe I just need to put in the... Well, this package isn't on ELPA, so it probably won't help me. Package VC install. Still not doing anything. Yeah, so looks like we found a bug in Emacs. That's cool. It's not cool that it didn't work, but you know, it's cool that we found something that maybe somebody could fix now. Okay, let's see. Where's my mouse? I'm sure you're wondering, why are you using a mouse? Well, sometimes I got to click on something and for some reason, I can't see it anymore. Seriously, what the hell? That was strange. I was using it correctly. Something is weird. Yeah, will tree sitter work now? That's a great question, Issue. Let's give it a shot. CTS mode, obviously. Tree sitter for C is not available. Language definition for C is not available. Tree sitter C, no such file or directory. Shouldn't that be there though? What's in the repository? Emacs 29, Emacs, source, tree sitter. TS install. Oh, is that what it is? Nope. Is that a command line program? Hey, Osloy. Let's try this then. TS. No, not part of the tree sitter package as far as I can tell. Okay, let's get back to looking at some of the other things that are new, because I think that for OBS WebSocket, aren't you supposed to get the URL from the clone button? Well, it in theory shouldn't make a difference, but just to make sure that I'm not doing anything completely stupid, maybe I should do that. Where is the clone button? Code. I mean, the only thing it does is add the .get at the end, but I can't imagine that would matter at all. Package vc install. Yeah, so it's some other issue, and the messages buffer is not really giving us. Whoops. The messages buffer is not really giving us anything to go on there. Bankas or Bihankas, sorry. Try the pixel scroll precision mode. Yeah, I want to do that. In fact, we could do that. So let's go to. We need a bigger file for this to work in. In fact, we also need to load a theme that does not completely blind me. So how about let's do that. And then this could be something that is like Geeks specific, sort of. I don't know. All right. How about the news file, huh? Etc. News. That's long. Oh, and it looks kind of nice too. That's weird. Okay, so I'm scrolling here with my the track point scroll wheel. You can see that it kind of does line by line. It's kind of chunky scrolling. It's not very smooth, right? So let's try to use pixel scroll mode. Let's do both of these because I haven't seen either of them. So pixel scroll mode, I turn that on, and now when I scroll with the scroll wheel, the scrolling increment is much smaller, but it still does a bunch of like kind of chunky movements as you scroll faster. So let's see what this pixel scroll precision mode does, because it sounds like it's supposed to be a lot smoother. Oh, it's not doing anything. I don't see any precision here. Did I turn that on correctly? Let me check the docs because that doesn't seem right. Pixel scroll precision mode. Toggle pixel scrolling when enabled. This minor mode allows to scroll the display precisely according to the turning of the mouse wheel. It doesn't seem to have any. Yeah, I wondered if I had to have both turned on, but let's see. Pixel scroll mode. It doesn't tell me. Okay, they're both on now. Hey, stop that. Stop pressing escape. Pixel scroll mode. Is there a manual entry for these? No. Okay, this is in 26.1. I didn't know that. Is it enabled on compilation? I don't know. No, it's definitely not because of my streaming setup, because the streaming machine is a separate computer. Is it? So you turn on pixel scroll precision mode and it just works? Yeah, it's not working for me. Disabled. Enabled. Let me check the variables. Pixel scroll mode. It's T. Okay, so it gets turned on. Let's take a look at the code, actually. Precision. Hey, man, I swear. Precision. There's a lot of code here. It must work. Triple M asks what music I'm playing in the streams. Check out the description of the stream video, and I've got links to all the songs. Richard says, this educational stream has tempered my excitement for Emacs 29. It's not released yet. This is the release candidate. This is supposed to be tested. So this is what we're doing right now. We're testing Emacs 29 so that whenever it does come out officially, then it will be bug-free because I found all the bugs. All right. So I'm scrolling. Let me use my trackpad instead. Oh, look at that. Okay, so if you use a track point for a ThinkPad, it doesn't work right. But if you use a touchpad, then it works really nicely, actually. But it doesn't have kinetic scrolling. Did I actually have kinetic scrolling in? Okay, so I don't really have kinetic scrolling that much in Firefox either, but so it does work. And it is pixel precise because you can see at the very bottom of the screen at the mode line, it is moving very, very slowly, 1 pixel at a time when you want it to, but it also moves faster when you want it to. So that's nice. That looks way better because Emacs had that problem for a long time where scrolling just looks kind of janky. So that's nice. It seems to update relatively quickly. I don't know how well you can tell on the stream because it's not fully 60 frames per second. Let me turn off pixel scroll precision mode. Turn back on pixel scroll mode. Pixel scroll mode. Then let's try scrolling here. I guess both are fine. I don't know. Maybe it's turning them both on at the same time. So what is the fancy new long lines thing? I don't know how to turn that on. This is not a PGDK build, Alejandro. Okay, so we've figured that one out finally, thank God. Let me check out what else is in the list here. Org mode 9.6, I'm not sure what else we'll see in that yet. So also, use package will be in Emacs. I don't think it's there yet. According to the development mailing list, I think they're working on it. Maybe it's not actually merged in. Let's see. Use package. I think I need to use Control-HO for that one. Stop. Control-H. No, Control-H-O. Use package. Yeah, it's not here. Quail use package? What is that? Did I not click it? Man. You know, being really used to using evil mode makes it really difficult to use plain vanilla Emacs. What a headache. That's my fault. Okay, so anyway, point being, use package will be as part of Emacs. So that means that the improvements to package.el for pulling down Git repositories and the improvements, the fact that use package is going to be a part of Emacs now means you've got a really good strategy inbox for a lot of your package management needs. I quit using use package a while back, and I was started using setup.el for a lot of my stuff. And you know, setup.el is great, but I think that for anybody who wanted to use a sort of like a configuration package, I would definitely tell them to use package because it works so well for a lot of the common things you might want to do. That it's nice to have it in box. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like to have that in box gives a really standard, nice pattern for people to configure their Emacs without having to just write plain old Emacs Lisp. Fun to write plain old Emacs Lisp, but sometimes you just want to configure a package and go. So, PCal says use package probably won't have any package VC integration, but it does, doesn't it? Sort of by default, because if you do ensure T, then it tries to pull things. Ishu says once you go evil, you can't go back. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. Quote of the century. I don't know what the quote that was. All right, so what else we got? Pure GTK Emacs is here for Wayland. Now, I don't have this built at the moment, obviously, and I'm not exactly sure how I would show it, but if you've ever tried to use, well, the Emacs PGTK build has always been here. Not always. Recently it's been here. I think the last couple of years, there's been a branch for Emacs PGTK, and if you don't know what that is, It is basically a pure GTK build of Emacs. It doesn't require any of the Xorg window manager libraries or functionality. Point being is that you can use it in Wayland, because Wayland, if you want to use an Xorg based application, which Emacs is by default, you have to use like, I forget what the command is, but it's like some side thing where it will render an X application inside of Wayland, but it's not great for various reasons. It kind of looks crappy. So you could use this pure GTK build, but I also have problems with a pure GTK build of Emacs when I tried it in Wayland. Like the colors look wrong, so I'm hoping they fix these things before they finally get that merged in, or I guess maybe it is merged in. So the stream is having trouble, Gavin. Every now and then it does get choppy. Sorry about that. Alejandro says, could pGTK work for EXWM? No, because EXWM assumes Xorg. It would be nice, and that's what someone at the Emacs Conf is suggesting by the title of their talk, that Emacs should be a Wayland compositor. I mean, if Emacs became a Wayland compositor, that would be really damn interesting. Because Emacs already has a window manager, which is not EXWM, it's actually Emacs itself. You know, you have Windows, you can do window management in Emacs, right? So if Emacs became a Wayland compositor, then you would just have other sort of Wayland, what do they call them? Clients, programs showing up in the Emacs frames, Windows. So yes, it is possible. It is possible to do that. PCal says, maybe I missed something, but my understanding is that the use package will only be using package install under the hood. Yes, it may not use package VC install. PCal, Philip knows way better than me because he's actually involved in the development mailing list. I'm just sort of like shooting from the hip here. Well, I don't know that anybody's actually tackling Emacs as a compositor, but someone is suggesting that it should be done. And there's a talk tomorrow, I think, at Emacs Conf about it. So definitely check that out. I'll go check the recording on it because it sounds pretty interesting. Okay, compile Emacs list files ahead of time. Yeah, we got the ability to do native compilation, but you know, it is a bit of a headache. Like when you load up Emacs and it starts using async to compile a bunch of packages to native in the background, because it doesn't actually stop Emacs from operating, but it uses so much CPU in the background that your computer just slows down. So apparently they have the ability to pre-compile the built-in packages. Is it only the built-in packages? So that you don't have to deal with that huge cost of recompilation to native code. For me, this only becomes a problem whenever I do like an upgrade of all my packages. Then I get like a huge amount of churn. Maybe Geeks will help with that some too, but I don't know. All right, native access to SQLite databases. So you can actually use SQLite directly in Emacs. And there's an interface, SQLite mode, that will allow you to explore SQLite databases within Emacs and to interact with them. Someone somewhere, must have been on Mastodon, asked if this would be useful for org Roam. It would be nice to know, but I think org Roam has special functionality that they build into their own build of SQLite. So, but anyway, if you use SQLite databases for anything that you do, like if you use it for work, or maybe you have some projects where you use it, this can be pretty handy for digging into those databases. Benoit says, how could that improve org Roam? Org Roam uses SQLite, but it would only improve it if it meant that org Roam could use the inbox SQLite functionality and not use its own SQLite build. Kay says, SQLite? I thought it was SQLite. I don't know. What is it? You tell me. PCal says, as far as I remember, there was some interest by the org Roam developers to make use of this from Emacs 29 onwards. That would be great. And Benoit says, no compilation, I guess. Yeah, it actually has been a problem for people on Windows because you have to download a build of SQLite because many Emacs users don't have a C compiler installed, or not one that you could build that with very easily. So it has been a problem. Big GIF energy. I say GIF. It's pronounced sequel. Yeah, SQLite. That's what I thought. So we don't have holy wars anymore about Vim versus Emacs. We have holy wars about how you pronounce SQLite or SQLite. SQLite. I'm going to start pronouncing it really weird just to make everybody annoyed. All right, Haiku OS support. Haiku OS is pretty cool. Never used it. Maybe we should try it out one day. But it's like a BOS. I don't really know. Is it like, are they taking the original code and using it, or are they just re-implementing it? But anyway, it's kind of a cool looking OS, and now apparently Emacs runs on it. So if you wanted to use this OS, then now you can hack on Emacs inside of it. Case says sudo wrong. All right. GIF. I don't think that GIF or GIF is pronounced GIF. SQLite. SQLite. Is it like Marmite? Vegemite? There's a lot of code here. It must work. Did I say that? Okay. Yeah, sudo. I said it's sudo my whole life, and I still say it's sudo. So what can I say? I know it's supposed to be sudo, because it's like su, but do. All right, anyway. Okay. Haiku OS support. This is cool, actually. So now it's easier to write Emacs Lisp scripts, because previously there was like a weird shebang line you had to use in your .el files that you wanted to run as scripts. I don't remember exactly what it looked like before, but now you can actually use user bin Emacs-x at the top of a file that you want to turn into an Emacs Lisp script. That means you can actually run a .el file like you would do like .sh file, like a bash script file. If you want to use Emacs Lisp for scripting, this is a much better way to do it than the previous approach, because it won't read your init file. It will only read whatever's in the script file. I use like publish scripts for websites and whatnot. Like if I go to projects, code, sites, systemcrafters.net, publish.el. This one, I run it using Emacs directly, like at the command line, but I could make this a script that uses this user bin Emacs-x at the top, and I could just chmod plus x the file and then just run it regularly. So that would be kind of nice for me, because I do use Emacs Lisp scripts in a lot of cases. Richard says, do Nginx next, someone. Nginx. Of course, Nginx is the one that you think it is. Nginx sounds like the name of a really baggy pants brand from the 90s. Let's see. Let's get rid of this spammer in here. Nginx. Nginx. I'm pretty sure. He says, ooh, free vert girls. Okay. That's exactly what my audience needs. Yes, Nginx. All right. Tramp natively supports Docker, Podman, and Kubernetes. There's another one, Kubernetes? Kubernetes? Actually, it's Kubernetes. All right. So you can like basically use Tramp to go directly into a running Docker image, right? I don't know exactly the best way to do this right now. It might be possible. Let's see. Let's pull up a Docker. Let's pull up a Docker. vterm. Docker run it Debian bash. I was just doing this today, so. Kubernetes.